right, everybody, welcome into Thursday's edition of Concrete Jungle New York Baseball Podcast here at FanWay1.com, North Park Building, Sun Falls, New York. We're over at the main, Studio A or 1, whatever you want to call it here in the new studio. Russo, Kyle Evans alongside me, Nate Sharman, behind the scenes. As always, boys, happy Thursday, almost Friday, almost to the weekend. How are we feeling as we head to this end of the week satisfaction that we always do?
Feeling pretty good, especially because we're here in the new studio. It's an awesome setup. It's going to be a good show today, especially when it comes to the Yankees, and the weekend's coming quick. So, I'm doing well. Yep.
Nate's frantically checking on someone over there, so we'll check in on him here in just a minute. Big stuff, though. Obviously, Yankees, a couple different sweeps. We didn't expect it, I think, the way that it did. Mets getting swept by the Cubs, Red Sox getting swept by the Yankees. Currently, the Red Wings up 2-0 over the Lehigh Valley on the week so far. I know the Mets are currently trailing 0-2 in their series to Buffalo. We'll obviously touch on all that. Nate, see you're a little bit rested up over there now. How you doing over today for Thursday? I know you have a big weekend planned ahead of you anyway.
Yeah, pleasure to be here, boys, as always. A little Pirates baseball these next couple days.
Yeah.
See how they do against the Metropolitans, and then play some more golf this weekend. So can't be any better over here.
So we'll jump right into that, actually, and before we really get into, the meat and potatoes of what we usually do. Today is our, recording, and when we go live on Thursday, September 15th, today is Roberto Clemente Day across Major League Baseball. Very important day, and we'll end up going on a little bit of a diatribe here in a second. But, James McCann, the Roberto Clemente Award nominee for the Mets, Jose Trevino, the nominee for the Yankees. It's usually one of the awards that the players really strive to go after. It's a lot like, for the NFL people out there, Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. This is an award that a lot of the players strive to get at least once in some point in their careers.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see all the players, like tonight around the league, that'll have the little 21 patches on their jerseys. That's always cool to see. I know a lot of guys, just love watching highlights of him and stuff, and it's just a cool day around Major League Baseball. Yeah,
and I know for me personally, I've kind of been banging this drum now the past couple, 2, 3, 4 years really. To me, 21 should be retired throughout the league. For what Roberto has done, not just for the game, but for humanitarian purposes. Obviously, losing his life in a plane crash to help Nicaraguan earthquake victims in '72. And, look, for the Puerto Rican people and many people of Latino and other Hispanic denominations, he's the end-all, be-all. In a lot of ways that Jackie Robinson was for African Americans, and here, not just obviously in the baseball community, but just American community. And Roberto was the same way. So hopefully, eventually, I say it every year now, more than ever, it's time to retire 21, and certainly here in 2022, I think that'd be a really nice punctuating thing to do at this point. I know not this past year. But last year when I went to PNC Park, they were honoring the 71 World Series team. Obviously, it was the 50th anniversary of that team last summer. And Roberto's son, Roberto Jr., and what would have been his grandson was there, as well as normally his widow was there, but she was unable to make it. But seeing, being able to see in person, some of Roberto's family was really awesome, really special. So hopefully for them, they'll have some more solace and justifiable recognition of what, not just a player, but what a great human being Roberto Clemente was. So let's jump into the baseball side of things, the actual gameplay stuff now. We'll start with the New York Yankees taking both games over the Boston Red Sox. A little bit of a tale of two games. Tuesday was a 7-6 victory in extra innings for the Yankees. Clay Holmes, picked up the win. His record goes to 6-3, a 2.35 ERA for him. Loss goes to Met legend Yuri Familia, 2-3. 6.09 ERA, presumably his final MLB appearance of the year, getting DFA'd.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
Source himself for that one. And then Wandy Peralta picked up the save. We'll circle back around really to the stats here because the last night, Wednesday, was a 5-3 Yankee victory. Nestor Cortez picked up the win, 10th on the year, moves to 10-4, a 2.70 ERA. Brian Bayo picked up the loss for the Red Sox, 1-6, a 5.10 ERA, and Clay Holmes picked up his 20th save on the year. For the Yankees, I mean, it ended up being a very big offensive series in many, or not many, but a couple of different ways, certainly to call it. We'll obviously start with Aaron Judge. Monday going 3 for 4, picked up a couple more home runs, now moves to 57 on the year. Now well within earshot of what would be the Yankee record. And I believe, I mean, no matter what I guess you want to call it, the non-steroid quote-unquote record, even though I observed the steroid record, but certainly would be pretty big to see and would be the American League record as well at this point.
Yeah. I do think he gets it. Like I've said all along, I think he finishes with 63. Although I know teams, I don't know, I feel like teams are going to be kind of careful pitching to him, especially like the Brewers this weekend. They're a playoff team. Mm-hmm. They're fighting for, a spot. I don't think they're just going to necessarily give in if a base is open and pitch to them like the Red Sox. Red Sox really don't have anything to play for. And I mean, I don't know how far exactly they're out, but they're like, I think at least over 5 games out of the third wild card spot.
Yeah, I believe they're pushing double digits at this point.
So like, there's not really a whole lot to play for. Yeah. And Cora, I don't think is the type of guy that would pitch around him, and he didn't. So.
Yeah, I mean, and even I think more so over, right? I mean, the fact that he's now it's pretty much been a whole week of him in this leadoff spot, which is really weird. I mean, you look at the lineup yesterday, I chuckled because, myself, Nate, Josh, when we finished up golfing, the game was on last night down at the Dungeon, and the lineup just made me chuckle out loud because it's weird to me seeing Judge and Stanton being 1-2. But either way, that being said, kudos goes to a guy who I thought was going to be a tremendous signing at the beginning of the year, Marwin Gonzalez. Picked up a home run, a 2-run home run on Monday night, or Tuesday night rather. But really, I guess hitting-wise, the main storyline for me personally is going to be Gleyber Torres. This is a guy that we have beat up a little bit on this year, but certainly had his moments in this series against the Red Sox was really no exception. Tuesday night went 1 for 5, albeit that part of it's not great, but he was the go-ahead and what ended up being the really push over. I mean, 3 RBI double there in the 10th. And then last night, Wednesday night, goes 3 for 5, picks up an RBI run scored, and also has a stolen bag. So it's good to kind of see. I know they were talking. To me, it doesn't look like you should kind of change anything too much mechanically at the plate, but it probably helps when you get in a groove like he kind of is in at the moment, albeit a very small sample size. But a lot of now consistent point in time, consistent at bats. Probably helping him more on the mental side of things, and now that's carrying over to the statistical side.
Yeah, he was actually one of the players that have been really struggling since the All-Star break. There was a little slight adjustment that we saw last night. Yes, kept showing a replay. There was no leg kick with 2 strikes, so it seemed like he was kind of keeping his approach simple and just trying to put the ball in play, and that's what he did with that Little League home run that he had last night. Poor Red Sox defense, but I think it's good to see. I mean, it's mid-September. Playoffs are almost here. It's the right time to heat up.
Yeah. And look, I mean, the positive for Gleyber anyway, as well as I think at this point, right, I mean, he's going to find himself in that lineup every day, whether it's second base, shortstop, or designated hitting, that I'd expect some carrying of the momentum at this point. I really do for him. And he's a player that's done it before.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to – I know a lot of fans want to see Oswald Peraza, but, I mean, that's Gleyber's job.
Right.
They're not just going to throw him out there unless he needs a day. But this is the time of season when every game matters, and I think Boone's going to put out the player that, he trusts the most there, and that's Gleyber.
Yep. A couple things, too. Good to see, obviously, Nestor have a very good outing yesterday. 5 innings, 3 hits, and earned runs, 7 strikeouts. Clark Schmidt, 2 big shutout innings of relief, picking up 3 Ks as well. So all good, I guess, kind of across the board in terms of I think in-game stuff there for the Yankees against Boston. I mean, we went in. I know you said sweep. I thought they were going to split. You were obviously right. And look, I mean, rivalry games like that, you never know what to really fully expect going into really any series. Whether it's 2, 3, 4, as we've seen with the Yankees and Red Sox. A couple different times, 5 or 6 games even.
Yeah, the thing is, the Red Sox were in both games.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have went either way,
Right.
but things seem like they're turning a little bit with the Yankees. They're finally winning those close games that they weren't winning, a couple weeks ago.
Right.
So yeah, good way to start the 5-game road trip. It's not going to be that easy this weekend because the Brewers are a much better team. But I'm excited to see that the Yankees are trending in the right direction.
All right, let's talk some news and notes for the Yankees. Catcher Jose Trevino was officially activated off the paternity list on Monday. Anthony Rizzo, good news, returned with the team. Got some baseball activities going at Fenway Park. He could return for the series against the Brewers, but more than likely we will see him during the midweek series next week against Pittsburgh. Scott Efros, he is through a bullpen session and will have live batting practice more than likely tomorrow on Friday. Aroldis Chapman had to change this note, oddly enough, because of the way it sounded. He was going to have a couple more rehab appearances. Apparently not. We can expect to see him activated from the IL tomorrow and be ready to go for the series in Milwaukee. Matt Carpenter, he still needs imaging done on his left foot to determine the next step in the rehab process. Last update we had on that was at the beginning of the month. Obviously, no full progress was done at the time. If there's anything positive, we know that he is still alive. He was part of the Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright video that they showed at the Cardinals game yesterday. When Molina and Wainwright surpassed 300, was it 325 or 326? I think 326 was yesterday because it broke the record. Games as battery rates. So that's pretty cool. Another cool baseball note. Anyway, speaking of Cardinals, Harrison Bader, currently on rehab assignment with Somerset. He will need about a full week's worth of games to be ready to go for the big leagues. Zach Britton, currently rehabbing with AA Somerset. Everything's going well. It's just that now we're back to the uncertainty stage of actually will he be with the team at some point this year. It's a bit of a downer, admittedly. I don't know. I'd like to imagine that we'd probably see him at some point in pinstripes at the big league level anyway, not the minor league level, but at least the indications I've seen, I don't know if you've seen any different, Kyle, but the indication I've seen is that everything's gone well. It's just, I don't know if the timing of it now is just not right or what's kind of happened with it.
Yeah, his rehab assignment did actually get transferred to AAA. He threw a scoreless inning last night. But one thing about him that I think the Yankees are kind of still not sure with is his velocity. He touched 93 last night, but his fastball or sinker was sitting at 91, 92, and that's not Zach Britton.
Right.
But, I mean, he is getting swings and misses. He's, having success at the minor league level. So I think if he gets a few more appearances at the AAA level and he does well, then I think the Yankees will be more confident that he can get outs on the big league roster.
All right, and then Miguel Castro, he's beginning a AA rehab assignment with Somerset. Ronald Guzman was outright to AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre the other day after being designated for assignment. So good news is Yankees do have a couple guys at least here in the pipeline, potentially getting back here, obviously, with Chapman, and then Castro seems like for sure in the line before Britton at this point, but who knows? Yankees, off today, travel days. They head to a big series against the NL Central contending Milwaukee Brewers. And luckily for the Yankees, they avoid potential NL Cy Young winner Corbin Burns.
Yeah, he threw
in
last
the
night.
Series, yes, by a day. So the Yankees, obviously Central Time Zone, so these times that we're giving our first pitch on the East Coast times anyway. Friday nights 8:10 on Yes. Frankie Montas gets to go for the Yankees, 5-12, a 3.89 ERA against Adrian Hauser, 6-9, a 4.61 ERA. Saturday, Jameson Taillon gets to start, 13-4, 3.94 ERA against Brandon Woodruff, 10-4, a 3.39 ERA, 7:10 first pitch on Yes, and then Sunday at 2:10 first pitch on Yes. Garrett Cole, 11-7 on the year, 3.30 ERA, will be going against young Jason Alexander, 2-3, a 5.29 ERA there.
I believe this is their first trip to Milwaukee since 2016, I thought I saw. So it's been a while since they've been there. I don't really know what to take away from this series.
Yeah.
I think it could go either way. Brewers win it, Yankees win it. I really don't know. I just don't see either team sweeping.
Yeah, I don't want to sound flaky here when I phrase it this way. I don't see a sweep either way. I'm with you. I could see the Yankees going 1-2. I could see the Yankees going 2-1. I don't know. I think it's probably one of those, depends which way the wind's blowing.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's a team they don't see too often, obviously being in the National League. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch, though, for sure.
Definitely. And it's two teams I picked to potentially be in the World Series at the end of the year. So who knows what might happen. All right, let's move over to the Mets. Not all good news there. Tough games for them as they got swept by the Cubs. They went the exact opposite way of which I predicted. Monday, a 5-2 loss. Javier Assad picked up the win for the Cubs. His first 1-1 record and 2.53 ERA for him now. Chris Bassett took the loss, 13-8, 3.44 ERA. Brandon Hughes picked up the save for Chicago, his fifth on the year. Tuesday was a 4-1 Met loss. Adrian Sampson picked up the win for the Cubs, moving to 2-5, a 3.48 ERA. Jacob deGrom loss, moves to 5-2, a 5-2 record, 2.01 ERA for him. And then last night on Wednesday, a 6-3 loss for the Mets. Drew Smyly picked up the win for the Cubs, 7-8, 3.48 ERA for him. David Pearson took the loss, 7-5, a 3.91 ERA for him. And Mark Leiter Jr. picked up the save, his second. Just overall across the board, wasn't a really good series for the Mets. Nothing really seemed to go right at any given one time. Obviously, the Cubs were within shouting distance. One will call 2 of the 3 games of this series. Yesterday, a little bit different when David Pearson gets chased out after 2/3 of an inning of work. It just tough spot, right? And I know. I know some Met fans enjoy doing the "it's time to panic already" thing. I don't know if it's necessarily time to panic yet. I'm not fully believing in the Braves division-wise. The pitching there I question a lot. But look, this is, we mentioned with the Yankees, right? Series you're at least supposed to win. This was a series that they were at least supposed to win.
Yeah, there was not really, like you said, any positives from that series. When you have Mark Vientos hitting 5th in your lineup, that's a problem, but the Mets are trying to do anything.
Disrespect to Syracuse Met legend Mark Vientos.
The Mets are trying to do anything they can to get some kind of offense, because that's been the story. They go in, there's certain months where this offense just doesn't perform. It's so weird. Other games they'll put up 10, 12 runs, and then they get these 2-week stretches where they don't score. And that's really the issue. They lost that series because, they did allow 6 runs in the first inning yesterday, but look, they never scored again after that. So that was a game where you kind of need your offense to pick up your pitching, and that didn't really happen. So, rough times. Good news on, the pitching front, as you're going to probably mention with the rehab assignment. But, there wasn't much to take away from this series. Yeah,
we'll get to that, obviously, in a minute here. You look at it kind of across the board, right? I mean, it wasn't really, I guess, a true group of guys kind of leading the way. The only one who was, I guess, kind of consistent throughout this whole series, I will give kind of credit to, is going to be Pete Alonso. And even then, a lot of it was just kind of late heroics in a way.
Yeah, ninth inning solo shots.
Yeah. And look, I don't mean to. I don't like doing the dunking on people type thing or anything like that. It's just you kind of saw it, I guess, with the Yankees to a degree at some points with Judge, where obviously if he goes 0-for-2 off the bat and you get a home run late in the game, but nobody's on, what good does it do? Not much. But that being said, I mean, you can't fault a guy, say, like Pete Alonso for at least trying to get something going late and having a good at bat, and obviously having a very productive result at the end of that, plate appearance.
Yeah, individual at bats obviously do matter when you're kind of getting blown out like that. Obviously, Pete Alonso. I've been watching some clips of him. It seems like he's been super frustrated. He was yelling at the Cubs starter the other night, slamming his bat down, a couple defensive errors. I don't know. He just seems like he's fed up.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. I mean, like I said, you look across the board here a little bit, right? Lindor shows up, has a solo home run on Monday night. James McCann had an RBI single on Monday night. And then you focus to Tuesday, right? It's Alonso and Jeff McNeil doing a lot of the heavy lifting. You look at then last night on Wednesday, it was Alonso and backup catcher Tomas Nido who had his solo home run and picked up another hit along the way, but. I mean, if you're having production just come from bits and pieces at different parts of the lineup, I mean, it's tough to get anything going at that point. And then obviously a key thing, yesterday, and this is where I do want to shout out Trevor Williams, is you come out the gate like they did yesterday, and look, games like that happen from time to time. David Pearson, to me, looked uncharacteristic the way he has all year. All 6 earned runs in the first inning. Or no, 5 of the 6 rather came in the first inning, right? Gave up walks, couldn't get out of it, and then you have Trevor Williams comes in, goes 4 1/3 in relief, 4 hits, an earned run, and 8 strikeouts. Does what he needs to do to keep you in it, and or at least have a shot to keep you in it, and just nothing really came of it in the end.
Yeah, he does. He seems like he's done that a few times this year. He's like a long relief kind of pitcher. Does a good job at keeping the team in the game. And like I said, this is the game where you kind of want your offense to pick up your pitching, and that just didn't happen.
Right. Mentioned pitching here. You got some guys coming back. Max Scherzer got the start for AAA Syracuse yesterday. Goes 3 2/3, walks a guy, strikes out 7. I know the pitch count did get up there through 59 pitches, but that being said, and this is where we're going to have a nice little, I guess, snowball effect here, right? Drew Smith, he did make an appearance yesterday with Syracuse, but he'll be having back-to-back appearances tomorrow on Friday and Saturday for Binghamton at AA. Tyler Maygill, he will have one more additional rehab outing tomorrow on Friday. They haven't formally announced if that will be with Syracuse or Binghamton yet, but yesterday's appearance that he had was with Syracuse. Joey Lucchesi will make a rehab start tomorrow at Binghamton on Friday. So, look, you got a bunch of arms here getting ready to go and getting ready to come back here for this really last postseason push, and that'll be pretty big to me. Obviously, Scherzer's the main headline out of this, right? But you get Maygill back, Drew Smith back. Obviously, Maygill will transition to the bullpen, but it gives you more length, more, I guess, juice to kind of push through if you really need a true dominating fashion. And look, Joey Lucchesi doesn't throw hard, but crafty left-hander, and that will prove to be very big in the bullpen outside of a guy like, say, Yuli Rodriguez or somebody like that.
Yeah, they're kind of in a similar situation as the Yankees. They're getting some arms back, some for the pen, some for the rotation. Like the Yankees are going to get Severino back. I'm not concerned with the Mets pitching at all, though. I've said it, I think, all year. I think these little offensive struggles that they have for like 1 to 2 weeks, that's more concerning. What if this happens in, mid-October when they're still playing? All of a sudden, the NLDS, they don't hit. Like, that's more concerning. I think their pitching is always there, other than last night, but that's kind of a rare game for them. They don't usually struggle that much. David Peterson, like you said, just wasn't on. But I would be more concerned with the offense right now than pitching.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. I know, I guess really kind of finish up the news and notes of this. Devin Marrero, was designated for assignment, and that was because Luis Guillorme came back. Officially activated off the injured list Monday after the show. So, obviously Guillorme not power bat, but was an important bat there, especially through the summer when, kind of sub in and chip in for guys like Eduardo Escobar when he was down with his oblique issue and stuff like that. So, it's a big veteran piece at this point, though, to get back in that lineup on if it's not every day, like every other day basis. All right, for the Mets, speaking of I forgot to bring up a point. I'll bring it up here, though. The Mets today be in 4 games against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
We think it's going to be easy, but...
and this is where, not to get off topic, I didn't mean to bring this up because, look, on Jackie Robinson Day every year, the Dodgers are home. To me, it's Roberto Clemente Day. Why aren't the Pirates at home?
That's a good question.
Right? Nate, you're the Pirates fan. How do you feel?
Yeah, that is strange, Paul. I agree with you on that one. I don't know what the plan was there, but we'll see what happens.
All right, fair enough. Sorry to throw you on the spot like that. I didn't fully,
Sorry, not to get off topic, but I just want to make sure we take a second to admire this SNY
The meme. Get the meme up.
We need to do it.
Get it
I
up.
put it up earlier, but we just need to all look at it.
What is pain? Personally, that's one of my favorite memes anyway, but that's just fantastic. All right, get the meme off.
Sorry, I had to.
I love memes. Anyway, yeah, four games against Pittsburgh. Obviously, we'll jump in, right? Tonight, 7:20 first pitch on Fox. JT Brubaker goes for the Pirates, 3-11, 4.36 ERA for him against Cookie Carrasco, 14-6. 3.80 ERA. Friday, tomorrow night, 7:10 first pitch on your local Picks affiliate. Mitch Keller goes for the Pirates, 5-10 on the year, 4.01 ERA against Taijuan Walker, 11-4, 3.48 ERA. Saturday, 7:10 first pitch on SNY. Bryce Wilson, 3-8, a 6.03 ERA for the Pirates. Will be against Chris Bassett, 13-8, 3.44 ERA for him. And then on Sunday, on 140 local Picks affiliate, to be announced versus Jacob deGrom, 5-2, a 2.01 ERA. So I'm going to, I guess, stay away from the sweep. Anytime I see the Mets are going to sweep, they get swept. So I'll say 3 of 4 the Mets take from the Pirates. This is probably the most ideal pitching lineup you could have them go up against at this point, right? I mean, these are obviously your 4 healthy main guys at this point. Outside of maybe if you want to sub out, if he was healthy, Scherzer for, say, maybe Walker, Carrasco at this point, then yeah. But obviously it can't happen, so this is probably about as good a 4 as you can ever have against any team.
Yeah, I don't like some of the pitching matchups, especially on the Pirates side of things. But I'm going to say a split, but part of me would not be shocked. I don't know. I'm just feeling something with those Pirates, Nate. Maybe 3 or 4.
They're a pesky bunch.
I also like 3 or 4. They're playing some good baseball right now.
That's the thing.
4
They've won
games in a row.
Yeah.
Say it, Nate. Say the tagline.
3. Oh, raise the Jolly Roger, baby.
No, don't let O'Neal Cruz get hot.
Oh, don't let O'Neal Cruz get hot. He hit another bomb the other day. Oh, he's unreal.
But for real, split. I do think a split.
I'm gonna go 3-1. I just like we say, the Pirates tend to be a bit pesky. I've been a fan of that offensive lineup anyway all year. I think that's pretty. I think it's a sneaky good one. So, all right, let's move on. Wrap up. We're talking about our friends here on the Thruway, our AAA affiliates, the Rochester Red Wings and Syracuse Mets. Rochester have taken the first 2 so far against what was going into the week the second place Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs.
Oh, I did not know that.
And they have the Iron Pigs that now dropped to 4th in the IL East. So big win so far for the Red Wings. 5-3 on Tuesday, and then 10-3 yesterday on Wednesday. Andrew Stevenson on Tuesday went 2 for 5, a stolen bag and run. Jacob Liu had a grand slam. Jacob Liu continuing pretty much his red hot really AAA offensive career since getting called up from Harrisburg midway through the summer. He's done a fantastic job. Taylor Gushu also picked up a solo home run on Tuesday, going 2 for 4 on Wednesday during that 10-3 victory. Kudos to Yohan Adnan. It's been a rough go of things for him. But look, very good quality start for him on Wednesday last night. 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 earns, a walk, and 5 Ks. Andrew Stevenson again staying hot, 2 for 4, 2 run, home run, a walk, run scored. Then Daniel Johnson, a home run. That was a 3-run home run. He picked up an RBI base hit as well, while also scoring a run. Johnson, you might recognize, right? Started the year at Syracuse, elected free agency, picked up with Rochester really about a month ago, and has made a pretty good impact within that lineup. And we kind of talked about how some of these teams could kind of do something, but or what they could do. And kudos to Rochester. They're not going to. It appears that they will not finish out the season quietly.
Yeah, that's a great start to the homestand, like you said, against a good Lehigh Valley team. Offense is putting up runs. That's really good to see. I think they're going to win the series.
And kudos to, I forgot to mention, Patrick Murphy got the start Tuesday, and he got knocked out before he could get a decision, but they did have the lead. But, he was 1 out away from getting a decision. They had to pull him because of pitch count and stuff like that. But
I don't know the exact stats, but it seems like the bullpen has also been doing pretty well.
Oh, guys like Baldonado who have been there all year, they've been really good. We
saw Reed Garrett have a save.
Yeah, so, again, maybe this is a thing where, they just got hot here. Obviously, it'd be, I guess, the de facto wrong time, but, at least show some leg. And I'm presuming we'll probably see a lot of that roster carry over to next year. At this point, I think it's going to be a matter of, is the coaching staff back next year? But it's good to see that they're really kind of hanging tough and sticking with it at this point anyway.
Yeah, and in front of the home fans, it's
Right.
exciting for the Rochester crowd.
Mm-hmm. I know it's interesting of note, I didn't see it until today, but tonight, if you're able to get to Rochester, I definitely recommend doing it. Last year, Lehigh Valley player, Philly prospect Daniel Brito had a very serious medical issue on the field at Rochester. Luckily, the fast response, I mean, kudos. I know a lot of people enjoy Dougie at Rochester, but Rochester, kudos. They have a lot of great medical facilities, and I mean, the medical and hospital side of things, Rochester are great. But he's been on the injured list all year for Lehigh Valley. He's obviously rehabbing and coming back to playing in baseball shape. But he did travel with the Iron Pigs to Rochester for this series. He will be having a special appearance tonight that the Red Wings are going to be helping put on. So it's awesome to see Daniel Brito get this opportunity to come back to Rochester and get recognized. And he wasn't, to me, he still is a top prospect for the Phillies. I don't know what the future fully lies ahead of him, but good to see that he will be making a return trip to Rochester here today.
Yeah, that's a really nice job, like you said, by the Red Wings to do that for him. I remember the exact day when he went down. It was just a scary scene.
Yeah.
Nobody knew, like, did he die on the field? Like, it was very scary.
Mm-hmm. For Syracuse, a couple tough losses to Buffalo so far. Buffalo, obviously, one of the other top teams in the IL East, a 5-8 loss on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, yesterday was an extra innings loss, 2-1. Syracuse, again, a bit of a roster kind of in flux. We talk about it quite often, but with the amount of major leaguers down, rehabbing with them right now, it's kind of put certain players in tough positions than they're used to. I think that might play a little bit of a role in this, but, who knows. But look, Francisco Alvarez 2 for 5 Tuesday with a home run. Dom Smith 3 for 4 with a home run, 3 RBIs on Tuesday. Jake Mangum's been red hot so far this series. Went 3 for 4, double RBI and run scored on Tuesday. Yesterday and Wednesday, went 2 for 4. Had an RBI double in the ninth to tie the game up and send it to extras. Khalil Lee went 2 for 4 yesterday. Yomar Sanchez went 2 for 4 yesterday. So, got a group of guys here, right, trying to do their best to continue this roster kind of going in the right direction for Syracuse. Not sure what we'll see roster makeup-wise. I know I mentioned with Rochester. I don't know what we'll expect fully with Syracuse next year. But, that being said, like I said, because of the amount of big leaguers, you have guys in different spots than they usually are with these series. That can lead to tougher situations like what we're seeing, to me anyway, because clearly these are games that they're at least showing up and fighting for. It's just a matter of probably guys in spots they're not used to being put in tougher situations.
Yeah, and that first game that they played against Buffalo, obviously Buffalo's a good team, but they were actually in that game. Mm-hmm. Buffalo kind of pulled away late. They were in the game last night. They tied it up late. Fell a little short in extra innings, but I think they're kind of like Rochester. They're battling. They're not just getting the wins, and that's good to see that both teams are fighting at this time of year when the season's almost over and they have nothing to play for.
Right. And, again, they're home the rest of the week, just like Rochester. So get out. I know that, look, they'll be back for, not next week, but the last few days of September. I see Max Scherzer here in his appearance last night. Classic Mad Max right there. Tongue out, guns blazing. So not bad. Not bad looking in that orange uniform, I'd say so myself.
Yeah, why was there so many seats empty along the first baseline? I noticed that in pictures.
Yeah, it's a tough angle over there because of the way the sun is. It's just brutal sometimes. So
I thought it was kind of. I didn't check the attendance, but I was like, oh wow, is it not that full? Even with Max Scherzer there?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, school back in session, it's tough, but who knows?
Early start though does help. 6:35 compared to 7:05. Yeah. I know it's not a major difference, but that's kind of why sometimes That's why the Yankees used to do that.
It's big though. Pace of play, with it being up in the minors. I mean, you're out there usually by 9 o'clock now.
Yeah, so that's a good start time for people.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that will wrap up Concrete Jungle for today. Plans to be back again next week, Monday and Thursday as usual. hopefully live, remains to be seen. Don't quote us on that or anything like that. But either way, we'll have episodes out Monday and Thursday next week as usual. I know Nate, you have some fun stuff going on this weekend. Kyle, any big plans besides camping out, ready for some Syracuse Orange football potentially, and the NFL?
Yeah, I'll be covering a lot of stuff Saturday. Cornell football starts. Mainly just excited for the NFL slate of games. Big NFL guy, so I look forward to watching baseball and football all weekend.
Nice. Nate, good luck this weekend. I want you to hit them straight. I know it's a big. I know the competitor in you probably wants to do really well, but I know it's a fun weekend for you coming up on the golf course.
Yeah, a lot of good family, friends come down for this weekend to play some golf over at Big Oak in Geneva. But before we go, I just want to do a special shout out for president of the company here, Jim Sinacropi, just for putting this all together. It's been a lot of fun for me over here, Paul. Just kind of fiddling with some new toys, some new camera angles and stuff. So
are you sure it's been fun? Because the couple of times I've looked over at you, there's been like smoke coming from your ears and.
No, it's been a lot of fun. I like to kind of compare it to a kid in a candy shop. A lot more angles, a lot we can use. So it's going to be a good learning process for us here at FingerLakes1.com. But thanks to Jim Sinacropi for putting this all together, and I love being a part of it.
Yeah, and Jim, Josh, everybody, we're a nice team effort going on over here. So hopefully too, and I mentioned, right, hopefully next Monday we have the full-fledged type thing. So hopefully we can maybe do even a mini studio tour, if you will, on Monday. But who knows? Anyway, for Kyle Evans, Nate Sharman, I'm Paul Russo. You can see Concrete Jungle Monday and Thursday, YouTube, watch live, catch them anytime there, and other major podcasting platforms. We'll talk to everybody Monday. Have an awesome weekend, everybody. Stay safe, have fun. We'll talk to you then.